¿Qué onda, amigos y amigas de MetalSV y MetalAnalyzer? Estamos pues en una ocasión bastante especial. Bueno, personalmente es algo que me entusiasma bastante hacer esta entrevista con una verdadera leyenda del thrash crossover. Y pues bueno, en promoción a lo que se nos viene para el Trash Attack 12. Así que pues bueno, Lawrence, ¿qué onda? Decinos un poco de quién se trata de esta leyenda que tenemos aquí con nosotros.
Sí, realmente es un privilegio estar aquí con uno de de las leyendas del thrash y del crossover en general. Estamos hablando de Mr. Kurt Brecht. Hey, Kurt, how's it going?
Great.
Thank you so much for your time. I know that well you are working preparing this Latin American tour. You were mentioning that well you're preparing as a very special set list, so the people can well prepare their set list and listen your music about which specific songs, right? What can you tell us about what DRI is bringing to either El Salvador and also Latin America?
Right. So we try to make sure that we represent each album and don't leave any record out, from having some songs. So try to pick the best songs. Try to start out with the first song really good, really strong. Um, Later on in the set, we might have some slower songs, and then, well, you know how DRI is. Fast songs, and then some longer, slower songs mixed in, and yeah, should be a good thrashing time.
Oh, okay, perfect. So, well, tell me something. DRI, more than 40 years of career, almost 45, I think, because according with the information, DRI was born on 1982. I don't know if maybe it was before, but the exactly date or year is 1982.
Right.
Tell me, after all these years, well, DRI still is visiting places and countries for the very first time, like in this case, El Salvador. How do you feel about that? There still are countries that, after all these years, still is missing to visit.
It's amazing. I mean, yeah, that we get so many offers to play. I mean, I would like to go to South America, Central America every year, but we play maybe every 3 years in South America. Same with Mexico. Central America, even less. But yeah, at least we're making it down there this time. So yeah, the opportunity's there, and we try to take it as often as we can. We have a good time traveling all over the world every year.
Oh, okay, that's a good answer. So, well, Lawrence has some questions for you. So, Lawrence, the microphone is yours.
Yeah. Well, hi, Kurt, and
Hey,
to me it's a pleasure to be here with you. And as far as you are known, well, the band is known for be considered by many to be the fathers of crossover trash. And I saw a lot of documentaries about that. And I don't live in the 80s, obviously, but um in the early 80s, there is a line between punks and metalheads and something like a war zone, something like that. Was there a specific show or a specific record you heard that made you realize these two subgenres actually belong together to create that crossover sound?
I remember before I'd ever heard of Slayer and before we were on the same record label as them, a friend of mine said he met somebody that met Slayer and that they were a heavy metal band and that they said they liked DRI. So I was like, okay, that sounds weird and interesting, but back then we had mainly just a punk rock following. And then after that, sometimes long-haired people would start showing up at our shows. And they're like, yeah, man, we like DRI, and it was interesting, but we were a little bit confused. And then, yeah, just went full on crossover. And it was a violent time at that time when the punks and the long hair people started going to the
Yeah.
same shows. It was a couple years there where it was very hard for us even to play through one song because there was so many fights we would have to stop playing to break
Wow.
up the fight and then start over again.
I would like to know something. Well, when we start to like thinking in metal scenes in United States, like for example, in Bay Area was the thrash metal, or for example in New York that there was about maybe like punk and hardcore scene. In New Jersey there was thrash metal or strip sunset like the glam metal. But DRI is from Texas. It's like in the middle, so I don't know if there was like a some or which challenge maybe do you think that that had in that time for DRI to be on a city that was not like in the public eye, right? Like for example, all the example that I mentioned, right? I don't know if which was that challenge
Yeah, I mean the hardcore scene was very underground.
on Texas.
Yeah, in Texas, it was
Oh, okay.
very underground here. So it was like secret, you know, the little punk shows. But we were only here for 1 year, and then we left and moved to California. And there in
Ah,
San
okay.
Francisco, it was
Mhm.
Mhm.
way more popular, a
Mhm.
lot more shows going on, a
Okay.
lot more bands touring through there all the time. And yeah, it was a little different.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, so that makes sense. Yes,
But it was
it
still
was.
separate. You know, there were clubs where the metal bands played, and then across the street there were the clubs where punk bands played. And they weren't really going to each other's. You didn't go to the other side of the street. You know, punks weren't going to the metal shows and vice versa until later.
Wow.
Some
So,
years later.
so Kurt, did you have at the time some record, I don't know, maybe hardcore punk or punk or whatever that you say, yeah, I need to mix this sound with the Slayer sound or something like that. Oh, Metallica sound.
Yeah.
There is a specific band or something?
Not for me. I mean, you know, you'd have to ask the guitar player, Spike. Um, I don't know. It's like Slayer crossed over one way and we crossed over from the other side and kind of met in the middle somewhere. But I think they were fans of DRI before we were fans of Slayer. You know,
I
and they.
remember. I remember that I just in fact I discovered DRI because there was a video from the Slayer from with Dave Lombardo wearing a DRI t-shirt. And I remember, oh, hey, DRI. I was like, what?
Right.
Yes, DRI.
And and around that time you see some of the other guys in the band wearing the same shirt. And I wonder if they just bought one and they traded it off, or they all went in and bought the same shirt. I know where they came from, a place called Bleecker Bob's in New York City. And they were selling what we call bootleg, you know, not official.
Yeah.
So the band doesn't get anything. So yeah, that's where they got that shirt. And then later we stole that design and we started making our own shirts like that.
Oh, really?
Seemed to be popular.
Oh,
Yeah, one of our more
Oh, well,
popular designs.
yes, because I think that logo, the picture right from the guy, I think is iconic, and a lot of like legends on thrash metal will have a word the
Mm-hmm.
a DRI T-shirt, right?
Oh yeah.
That's cool. It's like I don't know, like Misfits. Everybody recognize the logos, or everybody recognize DRI, the little guy. So I need to ask you something right now. We are still talking about the 80s, and this is a question that I always had since the very first time that I know you and I start to read information from you. It's about a specific song, the song that is the No Sense. According with information about the history of death metal, right? The history of the blast beat, it says that that song No Sense from the 1982 was the first one to apply blast beat in metal. And from that song, it says that Napalm Death took it and created the death metal song of blast beat. I
Yeah.
don't know if that information. What can you tell us about that
I don't know. I think I asked
scenario?
the drummer we have now, I asked him what he thought about that, because it's kind of an ongoing debate who
Yeah.
who had the first
Who was the
blast
first
beat.
one?
And
Yeah.
I don't know if he said it was my brother, the original drummer, or not. I remember we talked about it though, but we just didn't come to a conclusion. And since I'm not a drummer, I don't really know the history of that. Not
Okay.
sure.
Well, yes,
But I've heard that story. Yes, I've
it's a
heard the
long
same
debate.
story.
Yeah,
I know
it's
the
a long
story.
debate. It's like, for example, who was the first one to use this style, the first one. Then you just start to like check other, but no, look, this is a
Yeah.
little tape, and this one.
If you dig
Listen,
down deep enough, you probably find out it came from jazz or some other type of
Oh,
drumming,
yeah, so
but
it's
not sure.
very interesting, very interesting. So, but well, the thing there is at least we have some information that more or less the debate is with the RI. I think because I hadn't heard
But
any other sound with blast beats
and the thing
before.
is, because of the whole crossover thing and the blast beats and all that, we get to we play a lot of festivals, and sometimes we get to headline, say, a grindcore festival. Even though
Mhm.
I don't really consider us grindcore, or we
Yeah,
might headline a death metal festival, or a punk rock festival, or a metal festival. So we're in there all over the place.
I think that's the magic of the crossover.
We fit in, yeah, we
that is
fit in places where
crossover.
It's
other
crossover.
bands, I mean, like I love Slayer, but they're probably not going to headline the punk rock festival,
Yeah,
right? But so
yeah,
we can get in all that type of stuff. We're accepted into all those different houses of styles, I guess.
yeah. So it's like, so when you say grindcore, I don't know. So there are other bands singing like with that voice, like with a. Well, Lawrence.
Yeah, talking more about maybe the modern bands. I don't know if you like some modern bands. So I have a question about that. How do you think that a lot of modern thrash or modern metal feature very clean or trigger productions? And even that DRI was someone who helped maybe the pioneer of very raw or dirty sound. Do you think modern metal bands has become too being too overproduced on your sounds?
The new bands, they're what, overproducing
Yeah,
their
do you
sound?
think that, yeah, do you
I
think
don't I
about
don't
that?
know. I wouldn't know. I'm not one of those studio people, I get in there, do my vocals, and I'm out, and that's it. So I don't know much about
But
the production or
but
overproduction.
but
But
I don't know if do you listen or do you like some many modern bands, or are you listening something or something that you're interested in new bands that using that or not?
No, not really. I mean, I know it's easier to to record cheaper now, like in somebody's house or something, than like how we used to do and go in a very expensive studio. Um, in DRI, when we started out, you have very little money. You practice a lot, and then you go in the studio and you just play the songs, one time or whatever, and record it, and then you're done. As cheap as possible, little production as possible, because you can't afford it. Once DRI became more popular and we had a record label and all that, we did experiment with spending more time and money in the studio to see how good we could get it to sound,
mhm.
without going crazy, on the money and all that stuff. But I understand why a band would want to have good production, because
Yeah,
the potential for the song, is there. And if you have the money or the time or a free studio or something like that, or you're doing it at your house, yeah, you're going to want to try to make it sound as good as possible, even if that means, I guess, overproduction. I don't know.
yeah. Hey, I have a talking still from the very beginnings. I always had another, well, curiosity and doubt about the history of DRI, about the name. Something that is interesting for me is, well, we already know about the history of the name, right? But about the, well, the writing in Basilisk. the word imbéciles is in Spanish. I would like to know if there was something like that has something to do with I don't know, Latin America, or was something that just happens that that word appears in Spanish.
I mean, it's the same in English, but yeah, I mean, it's just that my dad would call us that name, and we thought it was funny. We had one show booked before we had a name, so they said you have to come up with a name or you can't play, right? So yeah, we
Oh,
kind
okay.
of talked
And
about it, and we thought that was pretty funny. It was just one of the many names that my dad would call us when he was mad at us.
so and he used that word in Spanish, or these idiots, or something, or was in Spanish specifically.
No, imbeciles is also English.
Oh, imbecile, imbecile. Oh, okay. I didn't realize.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. That's I think that's interesting. Yes,
right.
because we were that was another debate, right? Because we when we here in Latin America we say "dite rotten imbéciles" like in Spanish.
Right.
It's the same. So I didn't know that also is in English.
Yeah,
That's cool.
imbeciles.
Imbeciles. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's another another geek question that I needed to clarify. So also I need to this is everybody asks you, or this is a very common question that how do you define DRI? But I would like to make it in this with this little game, because I was searching right in the web, and I liked I was checking a post. It was very interesting because it says, right, with Megadeth, I learned about politics. With Slayer, I learned about religion. With Anthrax, I learned about parties. With suicidal tendencies, I learned about to skate. So if I say with DRI, I learned to, how can you complete that phrase?
I'm not sure. I don't know. To think for yourself or something like that, maybe. I don't know, but we kind of mix, funny songs with politics and social issues, and I think it's kind of well rounded. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but we do have some serious songs.
Yeah, yeah, that's something that is interesting, because I noticed that it has songs to party, but also it has very serious songs, very serious songs.
Exactly. Yeah. Just try to mix it up.
Yeah, so well, it almost finished because well, I have the free option of Zoom, so there's missing 10 minutes. So Lawrence, I don't know if you have final questions or final words for Kurt.
Yeah, to me it would be really great. I'm living here in United States. I'm living in Colorado, so even I'm living here, I didn't have the opportunity to saw those guys. But yeah, what's really great to be in El Salvador to enjoy your concert.
Yeah, we
And
have some shows in Colorado coming up this year.
Yeah, okay.
okay, maybe
In
I'll be
fact,
here.
Denver,
Yeah.
the show in Denver every year is one of the biggest of the year for us.
Oh, and you're from Denver, right,
Wow.
Lawrence? I think.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Okay.
I live in Fort Morgan, but yeah, it's real close to Denver.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay. So, well, if that's the case for all the people, right? I think well, this interview will have subtitle, right? So remember, DRI is coming to El Salvador on March 4th. It will be in the Gimnasio Adolfo Pineda, 7 p.m. with DFC and also DRI for the Thrash Attack 12.
Yep.
With opening shows of Social SS, right? Is well, greetings for Daniel. I think you already spoke with him, right?
I think so. I'm not sure. I've done a lot of interviews. I
So
have one more after this.
and also that this show, I will be celebrating with my page 10, also the 10th anniversary, and also the 100,000 followers that I thank you for everybody for your support. So to finish this interview, Kurt, a final invitation for the public and final words for this interview.
What is the venue like? Do they allow stage diving?
Yeah, yes, it's bigger. It's
gonna be good, huh?
bigger.
All right,
Yeah,
we're really looking forward to it.
Will be a big mess. Believe me. Yes. Yes.
That's the sort of environment where DRI thrives.
Yeah.
We love it.
Okay. So, well, everybody, thank you, Kurt, for your time. I know you're still working, right? You mentioned that before of this interview, you had like a meeting with your partners. Well, I have these two albums, right? These two masterpieces that I have, and well, it will be a great honor, right, to if you can put my name, right, once that you're here. And
how are we going to meet with you? You'll be backstage or what?
Well, I'm from Brest. I will be covering your show, and maybe I will see you there.
Oh, okay.
I will see you there, hopefully. So, well, I will say a goodbye in Spanish for the people, and I will finish. Okay, I have just 6 minutes. So, bueno, gente, fue Kurt de DRI. Como pueden ver, una persona bastante agradecida, muy agradable. Así que pues nos vemos el próximo miércoles 4 de marzo a las 7 p.m. en el gimnasio Adolfo Pineda. No olviden buscar sus boletos en el Smart Ticket. Y pues bueno, prepárense para el pit, que eso se pondrá violento. Así que pues, well, Lawrence and Kurt, thank you so much for being here with us. And see you next time, okay?